Alright boys, I don't know when to quit, so we are back on Zillow Heights, and this time we are looking at Japan. Now you might look at this map and see, Japan's not that bad off, all they have to do is deal with China. Well, let's go check it out, shall we? I'll leave Iron Man mode on, because I am, you know, a glutton for punishment.
I can't do it! Yes! I'm unstoppable!
There we go, the setting sun. Now before I unpause, this is getting an update from the mod developer soon, TM. I will be revisiting it again, but I was already very engrossed in getting this video done, so I didn't want to restart. Anyway, here we go. So first off, it looks like we are being contested heavily in Burma, so be it. We have a lot of China left to clean up, and well, I don't trust Stalin. He is going to come for us. He has a war goal, so that is gonna be great. And then there's a bunch of Pacific Islands. Now, let's start by looking at what we have left. Army, we have about 196 divisions, which is all right. Oh, they're barely equipped, so we are short a significant amount of equipment. Yeah, that's fantastic. Navy, we still have a navy, 5 subs, and the rest is surface fleet, so we can probably keep it functional. We got battleships, we have a single carrier. Unfortunately, that single carrier is the Hosho, and it can carry 20 planes. Not necessarily amazing. We'll make it work, I guess. And then Air Force, we got some planes. Yeah. Okay, we can make this work. Now, we have a lot of stuff to do. First off, focuses. I'm gonna grab range focus. This will allow me to make very long range aircraft, and we're gonna need very long range aircraft to deal with the enemy navies. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Scraping the barrel is pointless. We're sitting on 8 million manpower, and we can get so much more by taking out China. I don't need this. I'm gonna go back all the way down to extensive conscription. At least we'll have a slightly functional economy. Yeah, we can always go back up the service by requirement later. This is going to take a 20% of our recruitable population away. Yes, but we can get so much more out of China though, so I think this is going to be worth it. If not, well, we can always restart. We'll get the Prince of Terror for more manpower, and then the War Industrialist. I'm going to fire Suyama. I don't need Army Drill, I need Army Offense. Got a little bit of points left, let us hire the Infantry Expert. We got 50 political power left, we're going to spend that here. But there is a min-maxing to this inter-service rivalry, and I'm not sure I'm good enough at it. I think if I open with draft exemptions, I get more factory and dockyard output. My factory output stays the same, my dockyard output goes up. I lose a little bit of mill construction speed for the duration of this, but honestly, I think this is worth doing, and then we'll shift back to steel for... I think we'll do that. I might be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please yell at me in the comments. Research, we got most stuff done. Yeah, better guns are gonna be useful. Industry, we're gonna need our industry. We have access to both concentrated and dispersed. Don't mind if I do. And we're going to focus heavily on getting that industry to be a little bit more functional. You might be wondering, why are you so focused on the industry? Take a look at this. Our divisions are much worse than they are supposed to be. This is not great. This is similar to the German Shattered Wehrmacht debuff. And then terror bombing devastation. Yeah. This just annihilates our industry. These two combined are part of the reason, or large part of the reason, why Japan is so terrible. So the army is not great. Once you run into actual troops like the Soviets or the Allies, your boys melt. And your industry is awful. Just awful. Like the factory output is so bad, and the worst thing is there is no way to fix it. As Germany, you get missions up here. Japan gets them as well, but these missions allow you to both reduce the Shattered Wehrmacht penalties, and Germany has a way to get rid of the bombings. Japan has no way to get rid of the debuffs. None whatsoever. Nada. Niet. Nietski. All it gets is a little bit of stability from holding Burma and Okinawa. Okinawa's not even been invaded, so we'll hold that, and Burma, Yeah, we'll hold that. It'll be fine. Anyway, construction is going to be focused on a lot of mills. Did I say a lot of mills? I really do mean a lot of mills. Now, on the other hand, I do have inter-service rivalry first, so I might just want to build a couple of dockyards before we start, like, leaning heavily into mills like that. Mostly because we get a construction bonus to it, might as well leverage it. You know, I'm maybe an idiot. Then we're also going to get an intelligence agency because it's 1945 and we haven't figured out how that works. That's really great. Navy will organize all of our ships into a single surface fleet and will split off the submarines. It will have to do. Air Force will put all the CAS over Guangxi. And our fighters are going to congregate there and then we'll redistribute them. We have plans with the fighters, just they're going to have to wait for a bit. And then other positions. We got a lot of Pacific Islands. The Pacific Islands are, honestly, I could probably hold on to them if I really focused on it, but they all need to be supplied. Supply has to go via sea. The Allies own the seas. The Royal Navy combined with the American Navy means I have no shot at stopping them with my 30 remaining ships. Not happening. Until we've whittled down those navies to nothing, this is all considered, you know, lost. I'm going to take all of these guys and I'm going to send them right back home along with all of the troops currently here already. Anyway, I'm also converting the templates, but I'll talk about templates in a bit. We are going to take a lot of hits. I'm going to give up places like Iwo Jima. I am going to try to hold on to Palau long enough to kill those 2 divisions, and everyone else is going to redeploy. These men here are going to try to fight their way to that port if they can make it. Glorious. If they cannot, that's unfortunate. These guys I'm going to delete, recover the manpower and equipment. Very long way to go to the East Indies, and they're very likely to get sunk on the way. Same with these guys. They are not anywhere near a port. I cannot get them out. They are effectively lost. Leaves me with 5 guys here. I'm tempted to get them out by, like, parking them on that tile, like railroad them over there and build like a single level 1 naval base there. It would take 2 months and it would allow me to potentially save 5 divisions. Not sure if it's worth it, but you know. Then we've got the East Indies. We want to hold on to the East Indies along with Malaya for as long as humanly possible. So we're going to try and cover this as well as we can. Oh, we don't have nearly enough troops for any of this. Oh, this is going to be awful, isn't it? It's going to be so bad. Oh, to cover all of this, so including Burma and the Moluccas, 18 divisions. We may have to give up the Moluccas for 16 and then giving up Burma as well for 11. All right, we can do 11. Great. And then we'll use these to reinforce that garrison if it comes down to it. Speaking of reinforcing that garrison, so we're abandoning the Philippines. There's no point in trying to hold this. MacArthur has returned, and he's angry. We're leaving. We are simply leaving right now. Hopefully, we can actually get these divisions out in time. That brings us to Burma. I'm fairly certain that I will eventually lose Burma. So be it. But before I do, I'm going to have one last hurrah here. We are going to fall back to that tile. Make sure we hold on to the supply up in Mandalay and the one in Burma there. This one isn't plugged in, so technically these guys are not getting supply. I have noticed, however, that either they build a railway to connect it or they get one via event or decisions. This is eventually going to get plugged in. When it gets plugged in, the pain starts. Let's get going then. This is jungles. Jungles are not great to fight in. It's a novel concept, I realize. We're gonna fall back, and then we're gonna go something like this. Okay, great. It's already awful. Nice. We'll try that, and then just fall back to these positions to try and defend ourselves. Over here, I want to try something funny. I want to hit Dali. I want to hit Kunming with these divisions. This is wide open. If I launch a pinning attack here and maybe here, I can stop these Chinese divisions redeploying. And if I am able to walk in there and they don't have anything back there, we may actually capitulate Yunnan. I've done a couple of tests, and sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't, but when it does, it's hilarious. That brings us to this area. So we got a bunch of Chinese pockets that need cleaning up. There's one to the south here we'll start with. A lot of boys here that need to be reassigned to draw up fresh front lines. So this is very confusing, maybe even a little annoying. I know. We just have a lot of work to do. Speaking of a lot of work, let's hit Nanning, Nanning, Nanning. Pinning attack next to Nanning, and you there and pin there. The idea is, just like I want to take Kunming and Dali to knock out Yunnan, if I take Nanning, we knock out Huangxi. That would be 2 warlords down early on. We're not there yet, but it would be a great start. Then we have the massive coastal encirclement here that we need to clean up. This is actually the hard one, because there are a lot of divisions in there. It's a lot of territory, and their divisions might be terrible, but so are ours. I'll show you that in a minute. So we'll try to attack aggressively in from this flank, and from the other side, we will be equally, if not more, aggressive pushing in as well. It's actually not even enough divisions. We need to find additional troops here. Hopefully together we can squeeze them to death. And then there's like the main front with China. Everyone else is probably going to be put on there. There is this pocket here. Honestly, I simply don't have enough troops for this, so I'm gonna have to divert units that just happen to be in the area to try and, lock this down, attack, and see what we can make happen. And then there is the main front. So everyone else that is currently in China is going to be assigned to the main front, and their job is to hold until relieved. If they ever are relieved, that is. And for that, I will be using a Field Marshal order. Unfortunately for us, that Field Marshal order is not nearly enough to cover all of the frontage. That's just great. Well, we'll do our best. We are short of men, we are short on equipment, we are short on time, and we are short on patience. We are short on many things. I don't have nearly enough troops for all this. Everyone currently in Manchuria is going to be redeployed, except for a couple I need to hold the Soviet border. Just send them to the front. Honestly, just send them to the front. Just get over there to the front line. And that leaves me with 29 divisions. So a couple of these guys are holding the port cities. We will make sure they hold on to the port cities for as long as they can. And last minute before they capitulate, or rather are destroyed, we'll pull them out. And that leaves us with 25 divisions. We got 3 of these tank divisions. I don't intend to keep them as tank divisions, but I'll park them on our one little border with the Soviet Union here. They will have to do set an attack order. I'll convert them to infantry, and they can train over there, wait for the inevitable Soviet declaration of war. That is 14 divisions I still have in Manchuria. I'll send them south into China to see what I can do with them. And now, of course, generals. Like, I've been talking for 20 minutes and I haven't actually done anything. Organize the defenses, organize the attack, make sure that the generals that are supposed to be pushing into the big encirclement have the best offensive generals. All right, so that organizes most things. I am short tens of thousands of guns, so guns will be a priority along with infantry equipment, a couple of trucks. I will not be making casts for now. I will not be making medium bombers. I'm sorry. I will need artillery. Fun fact, we don't have a single artillery piece in our inventory. We don't even have a single artillery piece in our army. Not a single one of our divisions actually uses artillery. This is probably the single weakest Japan you could have in 1945. Even if you let the dumbest AI automatically play until this date, you would be better off. Not only more occupation, you would simply have more than 50 civs and certainly more than 27 mills. But I digress. Let's peel the fighters back way down. I'll leave one on it. Consider it a token factory, if you will, just to preserve some of the production efficiency. We're building a bunch of ships. We'll finish off all the surface ships, so the destroyers and the light cruisers, and I'm going to cancel all of the subs. Cruiser subs are definitely not bad, but they're not going to save me now. I need some surface vessels. Bear with me. I could get high-speed mine hunting equipment for more sub detection. Yes. But I need a lot of ships, so I'm going to go down here first for an extra 5% production output. So I'll grab that, I'll grab that, and I'll grab that. This will allow me to just get slightly more destroyers out. Mostly I'm going to focus on whatever gets me more equipment first. I don't need perfect guns, I just need a lot of them. Now, once all these ships are built, we are going to need 2, maybe 3 things. 1, a lot of convoys. We need convoys. When the convoys run out, our empire dies, and our convoys are going to run out, or at least run very, very low. I'm going to build a good submarine hunting destroyer. The cheapest gun I can fit on there. I'll put the best engine I can fit. I don't have sonar, so I'll get radar, the best radar it can fit, along with as many ASW depth charge modules as will humanly fit on this thing. Could be better, could be worse, but it should find some subs. It's relatively expensive, yes, and it is vital that we get this right. So I'll try to make as many of these as possible. This thing has no place in the fleet. Is going to be very separate from everything else. And we'll start making these as soon as everything else is built. And we'll follow up with convoys. One thing I might want to grab early on is the Spirit of the Academy. Political loyalty would allow me to get a little bit more stability. It would probably not be a terrible idea to get that first, unless I want theater training. Both are good, but I need the stability right now. So close to 100%. It's fine. Oh, I get some naval doctrine while I'm here. Convoy sailing, yes. Whatever helps me find subs. All right, that is the initial setup done. All right, for the Emperor then. For the Emperor indeed. Pray for me, boys. Pray for me. So the initial repositioning is going to be awful. Let's start all the attacks, all the glorious attacks on a high aggression. So these guys are going to walk in, start pinning, start attacking, push. Over here as well, concentrated attacks to start creating small-ish encirclements. Cut this big pocket into several smaller pockets to get a little bit of an easier time of it. 2 of you attack that unit and liberate the port, or at least take the pressure off the port and keep attacking. Over here, I am curious to see what we can make happen, but if nothing else, it's going to be funny. All right, manually withdraw, get to decent positions. It's going to suck. No matter what happens, this is going to suck. Let's extract the forces here as best we can. Run away. We are leaving. This guy is going to last stand the position. Then we'll kill these 2 American divisions and pull the units out as well. Over here, I'm not sure if we can actually get these guys out. It would be great if we could, but I honestly have my doubts. If we lose Burma, I'm going to abandon all of Southeast Asia, set up like a defensive line here with like 6 divisions that I pull away from there, and then sit on this river, maybe including these 2 supply hubs, just as an idea to keep me somewhat safe. Then we have this dumb pocket that needs containing. That's the first small pocket here as well. Try to cut them to ribbons. Before we continue, my army is consistent of several different types of divisions. I think I have 3 different infantry types currently in the field. The Hohai Shidan, way too big. 24 combat width, way too big. We're gonna change these. We have the Chugata Hohai Shidan. These are good. These are perfect. Almost perfect. 18 combat width, decent, sensible. They have engineers, excellent, perfect. Unfortunately, they also got cavalry recon, which is not excellent nor perfect. I might just strip that out or replace it. I need maintenance companies just to be able to steal some equipment. Unfortunately, the enemy I'm going up against, China doesn't actually have any equipment to steal except for some basic guns. I honestly think this would not actually be a terrible idea. And later on, I can still yeet it if it comes down to it. I think this is a worthwhile exchange. And then we have this. I have no idea what this is. I'm going to get rid of this mixed brigade. We are going to delete that template as soon as we can. Got some motorized, which is not great. We got some tanks, which are definitely not great. And our marines. Again, none of this is perfect. None of this is great. And then lastly, the Chutonchi Shidan, 12 with bare bones infantry. I'm going to use these for my port guards and my less important areas. Now we just manage our defense in Burma. If we can take Nanning here, that would get rid of 1 enemy. And like this pocket's going to die quickly. This pocket's going to die slowly, I suppose. And then this pocket up here is also going to die relatively quickly. So we can get that managed in a fairly sensible manner. I almost have 200 divisions, but I don't have enough divisions for all these front lines. I just don't. These guys are going to arrive. Hopefully we can stop them. How much longer do you have on your force attack? 3 days. I need to keep an eye on that. Still no resistance here in Yunnan. If we can get to Kunming and Dali, I'm gonna laugh my ass off, and I'm going to mock them endlessly. All right, small pocket. Reduce the size of that pocket. Ah, Roosevelt has died. We'll send our regards. We're nice people. And last stand, we're off. I'm going to issue it again. It's worthwhile, I think. These guys are encircled. They will die. Let's delete them. You might still make it, so run like hell. I'm now questioning my decision to build that port, honestly. If it's just going to get 3, maybe 4 divisions out, was it worth it? Probably not. Speaking of divisions getting stuck, this guy is also stuck. But I got most of the other guys out of the Philippines, so there is that. And we'll reorganize them on the East Indies. And this front holds? Barely. Barely. I need more divisions over there. And this pocket is completely crumbling right before mine eyes. The ports, they're under a lot of pressure, but they are holding, and I'll be able to liberate, or at least secure a link up with this port. No matter what way you turn it, this is gonna be difficult. This is gonna go for all my battleships. I would like them to be faster. I'm just gonna focus on upgrading this thing, promote my capital ships, since it is going to be important that they don't suck. At least we see a lot of green bubbles. That's good. Will it be enough? Time will tell. Time will tell. All right, so on the bright side, Huangshi is down and out. On the less bright side, Yunnan did have a lot of troops on Kunming, like 15 divisions. So we're falling back, but we're cleaning up the pockets, reinforcing the main line. And even though we're being pushed back little by little, we're holding on to the critical areas, and we're starting to carve a wide swath through the large Chinese pocket. We have the garrison here in place, so we'll work on that. We're still building that port. Not sure if it's going to be worth it. It's a questionable decision. We got a navy out. Also, I set the navy to strike force just around our island, just to make sure nothing gets immediately sunk. I'm also going to block off a lot of this trade, just because I do not want convoys heading out there. If it can be at all avoided, I want them flowing through territories we control. When the Philippines fully fall, though, yeah, it's going to be hunting season. It's going to be open season on our convoys, and we'll have pain. So we need to hold Okinawa. We will not hold on to the Philippines. To do that, you need to hold on to Luzon, which you basically lose day 1 here. And you have to hold on to Mindanao. I could probably hold on to the Philippines if I tried this again and just dug in there and funneled in extra forces. But all it gets me is 5% stability and war support. Nice, but it's not going to make all that much difference. So we soldier on. We try to close that big pocket and then evaluate our position. We got our espionage agency. We have to start from basically nothing. Thinking cryptology to decipher the Chinese cipher, if it's going to help at all. Start building collabs in China, because to capitulate China, we have to walk literally all the way to Urumqi. Whatever, because, you know, they have 0% surrender limit. It's a pain in the ass. It's an enormous pain in the ass. It's gonna have to do. Spirit of the army, let's get tip of the spear. Might be nice. Tip of the spear, great if you're throwing paratroopers and marines around. We're not going to do that yet, so I'll get this eventually. I think for now, state serves the military is better, because we don't take a massive penalty to our stability because we're in an offensive war. This will help bump us over 50% stability. War support's still ass, but we can fix that next by doing radio propaganda. We're also about to finish hold Okinawa, so that should bump us over 50% war support. No longer at risk of strikes and that sort of stuff. We must endure. I think we got an opportunity here. So the AI is aggressive. The Chinese don't have a large industry. They have a tiny industry, in fact, but they do start with decent amounts of equipment, and their divisions are fully equipped, but they are still a stupid AI. I'm going to get my CAS up there. It's going to help enormously. And I'm going to start whittling them down one at a time, bit by bit. We're going to start cutting them off from the main front line. As we do that, we are going to create pockets, reduce the amount of divisions they have. If they don't have divisions, I don't have to fight them. If I don't have to fight them, I'll be a happy, happy camper. So we're going to have to give up ground in some places. As long as we hold on to the important bits like the supply hubs, we'll be fine. Cut their army down to size. We're carving up this larger encirclement as well. They have a lot of troops here, but it should be okay. They also stopped attacking our garrisons for the most part, which will definitely help. We have an ungodly deficit of equipment though, so 46,000 guns, 4,500 support equipment, 1,000 fighters. Yeah, it's not great. We you know, maybe? It's gonna be too risky to try and sail all the units out. This saves me a little bit of equipment. Port's almost done. When the port gets done, I might just try to recover the equipment by deleting the divisions. There's a task force there, but I may be able to sail them to the East Indies. We'll see. And the pocket here is shrinking. I'm taking hits, but they're taking way bigger hits. 44,000 losses is not that much. I'm surprised. And we have killed 500,000 Chinese just because of all the pockets we've closed, so yay! Just have to weather the storm, build more equipment, and weather the storm. You're gonna let them exhaust themselves? Yeah, look at that. They had a lot of starting equipment, but that's it. I've let them exhaust themselves quite a bit already. We'll try to counterattack. What I also want to do, and this is something I should be doing maybe a little bit quicker, is connect all of these supply hubs via rail. If I can get everything on mainland China connected via railway, I could close all of these sea zones except for, you know, what has to flow over there. And I could force all of it to go across here or across there. And it would just go via railway. It might be easier. I think it's worth doing. Maybe. Could be a massive idiot for trying to do that. I know you're taking losses. I know this is a lot of damage I'm sustaining. We're slowly pushing them into a corner. And as they get more and more and more divisions per tile, it gets substantially harder to actually try and defeat them. So our losses are going to start skyrocketing. But I think it's worth it. Let's start spying on the Chinese. Please, Daddy China, just give up. Yeah, they have a 0% surrender limit. You have to occupy pretty much all of it, which is not great. Right, I see an opportunity here. So these guys are really weak, a little overextended, so I'm going to redeploy this extra army that I had in this general area. I'm going to try to make a push for Xi'an. That's the furthest supply hub they have, and that consequently I have. I'm going to try and seize it and then plunge into the guts of what remains, trying to get to Chengdu, Ya'an, and Chongqing, and maybe maneuver around and grab the Yan'an area as well. I was able to do it on stream, so if you want to see that, I've got that on the channel as well. It might be beneficial. As for Burma, it's a slow decline. Yeah, they've managed to build that railway that I said they would, so this is going to be an enormous pain in the ass. As long as I can hold on to this hub and the majority of the river line, I think we'll be okay, but we should count on losing the entirety of Southeast Asia. And Turkey's going to start invading us. Nice. On the bright side, in 3 days, I can get 4 more divisions to safety. We're going to slowly convert all of these over to Chugata Hoaishidan. I don't have nearly enough equipment to convert all of those. My losses are high. My deficits are massive, but we're going to have to. We're going to have to. Let's also grab an increased level of maintenance companies to steal more stuff. All right, almost forgot I can get these guys out. Yeah, I'm going to try and get them over to the Southeast Asia area. I don't know if they'll actually be able to salvage them or if they'll get sunk on the way, but at least they'll be out of this area, and so be it. I'm also going to blow up the railway here as an act of spite. All right, we got the range focus. I'm going to grab coal liquefaction because this will allow us to get at least a synthetic going. After that, we'll see what we do. Now, what range focus does is it will allow us, there we go, to get, as the name says, a whole lot of range on our small and carrier airplanes. I think everything combined, like that's 10%, that's another 10%, and this is another 15%. So all of those combined means super duper long range. And I want that super duper long range on the AM0, the one we still have 1,000 something left of. I'm going to take the cannons off. I'm going to give them a light torpedo mounting, as well as a range focus aircraft designer. And we are going to put these bad boys into production. But we're going to start converting the airplanes we have. And to do that, I'm going to delete all these. That's 1,200 airplanes. And we'll delete these as well. They're just not that important. Oh, they are important. Ooh, I accidentally deleted my my CAS. That's a big oops. Let's put the CAS back up. These guys are now going to convert all of our zeros in stockpile. 12 or almost 1,300 of them. They'll do 3.5 per day, so we'll get a nice amount of zeros out, hopefully. We're going to get Naval Strike Specialist because we are going to be using all those zeros we're converting. We're going to be spreading them out across the areas we control. So this sea zone, that sea zone, maybe this sea zone if I can get coverage there. And we're going to use them as naval bombers. It's a budget solution, but it's the only solution Japan can, you know, realistically get right now. And it's going to have to work. We have no alternatives to it. And over here, we might have the opportunity for an attack, so I'm going to try and punch through. create encirclements wherever possible. You punch into that, you punch there, and then we'll try to get to Xi'an, deprive the enemy of local supply as much as physically possible. All-out attack. Still got a little bit of cast up, so it should help. Got a little bit of air in the region still, so it may be useful yet. Good moves, good moves. And then head along there to Xi'an. If we're gonna win this, we just need to attack. It's gonna be expensive. It's mountains. It's really shitty infantry attacking really shitty infantry, but with our cast support, yeah, it should be sufficient. Dangerous naval invasions in the Bismarck Sea, so all of these islands will be lost. There is nothing I can do to preserve them. I'm gonna try to make sure that as much of the access goes through sea zones we control, stuff is gonna get sunk, and there's just no way to stop that from happening. It's just a way of life now. As long as Germany's still alive, though, I won't say okay, but we're not the main focus point of the Allies, and we still have room to maneuver and air to breathe. Once that changes, though, we are in for, well, pain. Yeah, Germany's not long for this world, so they're pushing in on Berlin. Hey, Roosevelt's dead. We'll use it as a negotiating position. We'll bargain. We'll bargain for our lives using that information. Alright, so we're not going to make a big push on Xi'an, it seems, unless we seriously reposition some forces to make it very concentrated. And the Grand Encirclement has also failed. Nice. Very nice. Love that. It seems our infantry equipment is vaguely positive, so I'm not taking too many losses. I think I must be recovering some as well. I'm not making as much as I would like. At least we're getting plenty of these improved small airframes out and start deploying them. Yeah, these have the ability to do naval strike. That's going to be super important. And our push on Xi'an's not really going well. Oh, fall of Berlin. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We're going to be the main focal point of the Allied advance moving forward. So it was nice knowing you all. We're about to have a very bad day, so I need more of these fighters deployed in a hurry. We've constricted this a little more, and let's halt the attacks a little bit, reorganize, and then make the final push. Oh yeah, we managed to encircle a British division. Might as well kill it, I guess. Naval invasion of Siam, but it's still guarded. Thank God for that. Siam falls. I am in deep trouble because this all needs to be protected, and I can't protect it without troops. With cast coverage up, we're actually able to attack a little bit more aggressively. We may actually be able to punch a hole through Xi'an. I got a lot of troops here, though. Not ideal. Let's close that. It's 53 Chinese divisions stuck in there. So far, I've taken very respectable losses, as in not very many of them. I keep pressing towards Xi'an. I think the reason why there were so many gaps on the British part of the front is mass redeployment of their troops coming from Europe. Oh, that's the world's thinnest Germany. So, yes, Europe is Jover. It's by done. And I'm going to see a lot of those Allied forces come my way. Not to mention very angry Soviet units coming in as well. Initially, they're just going to declare war on me and ignore Manchuria. If I don't call Manchuria in, all they can do is push on this tiny tile. And of course, try to naval invade me, which they might. However, it's also entirely possible that they will eventually justify and declare on Manchukuo, which will be not good. I don't have the troops to man that. Maybe once you kill China, and you can set up some defenses in the east, and you can divert an army, maybe even two if you're super lucky, to the Soviets. Who knows? Right now, this is not possible. Chinese are throwing everything they have at stopping me from getting to Xi'an. Crush this pocket. Crush this pocket. All right, we've got our first sub-hunting destroyer as well. It will serve us well. I'll give you a spotter. And we want about 5 of these per fleet. And we're going to use these guys on patrol near our coastline. So the 3 areas near our coast is where they're going to be most of their patrolling. The rest of this is going into fresh convoys. And once we get a little bit of research done, we might also refit some of our battleships. Or God forbid, if we ever find the strength, maybe even build new capital ships, like some light attack cruisers to sail the high seas with. As long as the momentum can carry us a little further, just a little further. All these small bits do count. Oh, finish this. For God's sake, just finish this. Alright, qualification done. I don't know if this is worth it. None of this is really worth it. Unified fighter development might be worth it. It strips a negative penalty away, so might be okay. I doubt it though. I could go for like the Manchurian project, buff my Manchurian puppet a little bit, and then go into like some of these. Let's give it a try. I'm not certain. Like I said, I haven't done a successful run of this. Germany. There goes Germany. Mostly historical borders, I guess. Not really, actually. Never mind. And now they're all gonna come for me. The seas will turn red. The enemy will descend upon me, and I will cry myself to sleep. Now, our industry is fortunately getting massive, significant, let's just call them significant buffs from all this nonsense. I'm gonna grab upgraded fire controls to make my capital ships a little better, and I'm gonna get better radar to get an air-to-ground radar onto those cheap little fighters I'm making, just so they have a little more bite to them in going up against enemy airplanes. Are we in Xi'an yet? No, the enemy remains steadfast in their desire not to die. I gotta respect that at least a little bit. We're still banging on the door of Xi'an. Haven't taken it yet. It's close. It is so agonizingly, tantalizingly close. Let's get another doctrine in. All right. And we'll finish this off now. And then we have all armies to the main front. Well, Chinese have decided to launch a major offensive. I'm gonna let them. It's gonna burn them out quicker, which means when I counterattack, I can probably do a whole lot of damage, which would be good. I still haven't taken that place. Jesus, they are fighting tooth and nail over it. And I think the enemy subs have arrived. Yeah, they've started deploying their subs around my islands. I'm going to lose so much stuff to submarine strikes. So I need to make sure that all of these aircraft have coverage over my sea zones on naval strike. These destroyers have a lot of hunting to do. Hopefully they can find and destroy the enemy. Alright, we need to stop this attack on Xi'an. It's failed. We'll reposition and we'll try again in future. Oh, and it's done. The pocket is closed. Let's take a look and see how many divisions or how much manpower was in there. It must be in here somewhere. Completely glossed over. Completely forgot about it. Oh, it was about 100,000 manpower. Not as much as I had anticipated, but I guess they must have killed them off over the course of several battles. Still, that is a significant blow to China. 1.2 million casualties. And they're down to 104 divisions. Okay, we're still gaming. Soviet Union has declared war just on us, not on Manchukuo. Meaning, there's just this to worry about. And honestly, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'll reposition a little bit of a couple of my remaining tactical bombers there. We'll bomb Korea. If they take the South Sakhalin and the Kurils, that's fine, because that allows us to peace out for a wide peace. If we don't get the wide peace event, we may be in deep trouble. But those are worries to worry about later. Oh, we got a lot of Soviet subs here. 11 subs, 12 subs. So that's good. We're thinning out the sub fleet. But yeah, the naval supremacy in the region has also seriously shifted. All right, Southeast Asia is lost. We lost Mandalay. Unless I can immediately take it back, I'm going to have to pull out in a hurry. No, it's lost. It's over. I'm going to take for 6 divisions. Couple more. We're gonna run these down south to hold the position here. Everything else, we are simply going to tighten the line, and we're abandoning a good portion of the front because we simply cannot hold on to it. We'll hold on to the supply hubs in the region for as much as possible, and then redeploy everyone and hope they get away. We're gonna have to do some manual repositioning as well, because the AI is always really stupid when it comes to extracting itself from a fight. Yeah, so we're gonna lose Laos. We're gonna lose, well, all of Indonesia here, unfortunately. I think we got the mission for Burma though, so that's great. Convoys are dropping like a brick. Oh god. Oh, why? Submarines are also dropping, so there's that, but Jesus Christ, I'm taking damage here. I'm taking a lot of damage here. No, speaking of a lot of damage, we have almost got Xi'an. We have Xi'an, so we have the entirety of the supply region here under our control. I'm going to reposition this army, and their goal will be a push towards Chongqing, this general area. Now, they won't have any supply in the region, which is going to be awful, but I think it would be a good use of my remaining time. I am losing convoys by the boatload. Okay, Mariana region, Bismarck Sea. So they're systematically dismantling my Pacific Empire. I'm going to concentrate all the convoys through these two sea zones. I will strike from Taiwan with my battle fleet to intercept wherever interception is required. I'm going to cover this area in fighters slash not really fighters, but close enough. All I can do is my best, okay? I'm trying. I'm really trying. All right, another 6 Chinese divisions encircled. Their numbers are dropping, so I might be able to defeat China. I need 2 operatives to do my collaboration government. Damn it! Without a way to get rid of terror bombing devastation, there is nothing you can do to ever fix your industry. I can't really steal... I mean, I'm stealing equipment, but I'm not nearly stealing enough of it for it to matter. Oh, this is gonna fall. It's not gonna fall. I got reinforcements coming. We can hold this. We've done enough. We've suffered enough. These guys are gonna get caught out. Oh, they're not escaping fast enough. Oh, Turkey has invaded the Siamese Empire. They are going to capitulate very quickly. Please, please, please escape. Of course, they are strategically redeploying in ways that make almost no sense. Please strategically redeploy. No, don't run into the Turkish troops. I'm gonna delete these units. They're never gonna get out in time. Oh, they're encircled. They were considered encircled. I wonder if this guy also considers to be... Why is that encircled? It's not nearly in... Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I shouldn't have done that. Why are you not strategically redeploying? Could you explain your reasoning to me? And our one and only agent just got caught. Pain. It hurts. It hurts so much to be Japan. Oh my god, my industries... Did I get nuked? I've been nuked. Twice. Well, that's bad. That cripples my industry. Oh, for the love of God. What do I even do? Oh, so the good news is I'm able to stop the Allies' advance into Malaysia or Malaya, simply because they have no supply. These are beat up divisions, but they can hold because the enemy is starving. Brilliant idea, bringing 8 heavy tank divisions into the jungle. Really cool. At sea, we're actually doing really well. Like, our navy, whenever it makes contact with a smaller ally fleet like here, we tend to win because we have the air advantage. We have those specialized hunter fighters with their torpedoes overhead, and it has allowed us to sink, oh, that's 3 battleships and a heavy cruiser, some light cruisers. Yeah, so the Navy's holding it together. They haven't really started naval invading me hard in Southeast Asia, but they have landed a division here somehow. That's now being killed by Manchuria. I'm making 100 guns per day. It is simply not enough guns. Yeah, look at that. Even my beat-up Navy with limited screening goes up against an American Navy. And just because we have that many airplanes overhead on naval missions, they are shredding their Navy. Look at the losses. Look at how much damage their ships have taken as well. That is a lot of battleships that are going to be spending time in port getting repaired. Honestly, massive win. Oh yeah, all ships are now in ports. That's gonna take a while to repair. The battleships, 1.5 months to repair is, oof. It might be best to hold off for a little bit. It was definitely worth it. Oh, we might actually get another battleship here. Yes, got another battleship. That's a naval invasion. Don't care, don't care. As for Southeast Asia, yeah, like I said, we've given this up. But we're holding the positions now, so that's okay. I'm trying to make a big pincer here to cut off this bulge here around Changde. Not sure how effective that's going to be. It's proving to be a little difficult to work in that terrain, even with air cover. It's just ass. And this is also a bit of a pain in the ass. Soviets are really hitting me hard, but as long as I can keep shuffling, the troops will be fine. But I'm going to shift a couple more units off Japan proper and head over there to make sure that doesn't, you know, get out of hand. These guys are not going to have supply, so I'm not expecting a hard push in this area. It's just now going to be a matter of, can I kill China before I inevitably run out of convoys? What is probably the worst thing as well is I got nuked. It happens. I say that like it's a random thing, but it happens. The AI is hell-bent on nuking you for historical accuracy, so I got nuked twice. That's okay, but it damages a lot of buildings. Usually buildings that get damaged, it's bad but not insurmountable. In our case, factory repair speed is reduced by 64%. I repair 1% per day. Terror bombing devastation is awful, so I'm very tempted to turn off the modifiers. I think if I secure mainland China, I must have earned the right to turn off the modifier, right? At this point, have I not suffered enough? See if we can get that encirclement going here. Kill more of China. And I just finished my talk about how our fleet are doing so well. We caught the last couple of ships of the US Pacific Fleet. Well, at least in this area. The USS Bunker Hill, USS Essex, and USS Wasp. 3 carriers and 3 destroyers gone. So even if we lose, even if we die at the end of all this, Japan has lashed out and struck a blow. We're gonna die eventually, but we will die gloriously. Alright, as the Allies have seized pretty much all of my islands, the threats are getting real close. So the naval invasions are starting to target the Chinese coast. So I've retasked this army to exclusively work on, guarding the coastline. They may or may not arrive in time, but we'll take care of the British here, though, I think. I'm getting the deficit of equipment slowly, very slowly down, but it's not going quickly enough. Fighters as well. I'm being forced to put up fighters over Japan itself just to stop the enemy strat bombing, which, if you go by my war support, is not working. I'm losing convoys. I'm getting bombed and I get casualties. I am suffering on levels thought impossible until now. Things are very painful, but we're holding for now. We are up against the world and I don't like it. I don't see a way to win this. It's been a year. I keep losing war support. My convoys are okay because I did take some good steps here to try and secure the sea lanes. That helps. They've landed troops on Okinawa. Of course, I still hold the ports. When these guys get tired of attacking, we'll counterattack, destroy them. And we are constantly going to be pounded with naval invasions now, which ironically might help because with those naval invasions coming in, that actually means there's equipment coming in. If I can keep them from seizing control of the area, we might actually be able to destroy those units, trap them, and if we do that, we can steal their equipment. Let's get this naval invasion contained here and then start killing some British. Oh, they managed to kill a unit here. How did they do that? They had full org. Well, that's lovely. So yeah, if you ever wonder what the power of air cover is, that's 2 heavy cruisers, 10 destroyers down, and that is another 6 heavy cruisers, a light cruisers, and 14 destroyers down. And because we immediately re-engage because of our high spotting in the area, we can take those fleets that are running away damaged and immediately hit them again. Hopefully that will keep the Americans from our coastline. And I know that I keep hammering on about these naval battles, but it's the only thing really going my way. Look at it! 25 destroyers, a battle cruiser, 3 heavy cruisers, 4 light cruisers, at the cost of some airplanes, 4 destroyers. We are shitting all over the Allied navies, and I just hope it's enough. God, I love the Navy. We are down a lot of destroyers though, and it may be difficult to continuously screen. Ooh, the Yamato super heavy battleship. I'm somewhat tempted to build one, but I'm also smart enough to know it will never finish on time. Anyway, once we build that cruiser, I think we're gonna divert 1 production line to just making Roach destroyers. Now I say Roach, so I'll just take a cheap dual purpose, cheap torpedo launcher, good engine, and a escort stuff thing on it. I'll put these out to augment our numbers, I guess. And I don't know how to stop going on about this, but this is absurd. The UK and US keep throwing fleets at me that have virtually no screening, and it keeps getting all of their stuff sunk. My God, this is massive. I think despite everything, we are hitting the breaking point. The fleet had to go back to port as a result. No more green seas around the home islands. Soviets have landed. I'm containing them. I might even be able to throw them back. As long as they don't take that port, that is still a very real possibility. But the Americans are throwing stuff in here. As long as they don't take a port, they can also contain that, but it's getting hard. I am out of destroyer, so this fleet can no longer effectively screen. Every time it goes out, it is at massive risk. I'm holding on to Indonesia still. I'm holding on to China still, but I'm tired, boys. Something's got to give eventually. This cannot go on. Yeah, American invasions here, American invasions there. I'm going to die. We'll make it a glorious end. Definitely, we'll make this a glorious end. We'll finish up this, divert all these troops to here, but I fear we have hit the end game. There's nothing I can do. I've sunk. Just look at what I've sunk in terms of the Navy. So, I've lost 181 vessels. Okay, cool. I've sunk 612. Current month, I've sunk 33 ships, mostly destroyers, 2 aircraft carriers, 1 battleship, and a couple of convoys. I lost nothing on my own. We sunk over 100 destroyers, or light hulls. We sunk 35 cruisers, 6 heavy ships, couple of subs, 4 carriers. Older numbers are even more stunning. I've barely taken losses because I've constantly been fighting where my naval bombers are dominant. My navy has performed beyond all expectation. These ships have done so well, and it doesn't matter because even now the Allies can still throw more at me. I've carved a bloody chunk out of China. They could not possibly have that much more to do. And yet they persist, they survive, they carry on the fight, and I am slowly being strangled to death. I don't think this is possible with the debuffs. And this naval invasion is just like the nail in my coffin. Once they take a port, they flood troops in, and I can't stop them with my beaten up divisions. Oh, another naval invasion here. I have 18 divisions here. I'll make it a good fight. I'll see if I can make it a good fight to contain this, but I don't have air cover. I don't have sufficient troops to really contest this. I'm not able to deny the enemy. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna fucking try though, so let's go! Still, they have appeared to take in the position of let's just land a bunch of troops and not support them, so who knows? So far, 256,000 casualties. That's less than I took on stream, so I'm happy with this. I played this very conservatively. I've killed a good number of Soviets. I've killed an absurd number of Chinese. I have even killed a respectable amount of Americans. I'm guessing it's mostly because of the Navy stuff. Invasions are going off. Oh my god. Look at that! How is this not mattering at all? I've sunk the Enterprise, the Yorktown, the Saratoga, the Lexington. I am shitting all over the US and Royal Navies, and it doesn't matter. It pisses me off beyond reason. Let's put up a good last fight here. Let's take Osaka back. Go, 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 go. The Americans are moving in very weird patterns, so as long as I can, like, outmaneuver them and get behind them, maybe I can take some land that they've decided not to protect. I'm still holding on to, like, most of my coastline. I've managed to more or less contain the naval invasions as well, so that's good. Well, we do have this naval invasion somewhat contained, so if I can kill them off now, we'll give it a shot, but I wish I had an answer to this. This is just such an infuriating experience. I really feel like I deserve better, considering how well the Navy's doing. The Americans are doing great amounts of damage to our divisions. They can keep funneling in fresh units. I have a very, very hard time replenishing anything. Come on, because I just can't do anything. That's the problem. I can't. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of this Navy. It is doing so well, even with half screening. Look at what it's doing to the enemy, because the enemy has even less screening. It blows the destroyers out of the water as they show up and then wrecks the capitals, but they have so many more capital ships than I do. I do not believe this is at all possible. I don't think it can be done as long as you have these debuffs. I think that's what kills every one of these runs. You are going to lose, and there's no way around it. You get overwhelmed. You get completely overwhelmed. End of the day, the enemy numbers are going to tell, and there's nothing you can do about it. These guys aren't even getting enough org back. They're barely recovering org because of all the negative penalties I have. Awful. Oh my god. If it wasn't for the debuffs, I think I'd win. I legitimately think, just look at how we're shitting on their navy. It's just a matter of time before they run out of ships. I maintain control of my vessels way better than they do. It's just going to be a matter of time before I secure naval dominance, and from that point forward, we can play the game. But we'll never reach that point. We can never fully equip our army because of the massive debuffs. I've had a 40, 50, and now 37,000 deficit since the game started. I've barely launched major offensives. Until the mod designer gives you a way to get rid of the setting sun and terror bombing devastation, I do not believe it is possible to win. I may be wrong, and I'm sure people are going to tell me how wrong I am. That's fine. I just... the risk of sounding like I'm a whining idiot. The debuffs are insurmountable. They have air superiority that I cannot contest. They have 1,000 bombers overhead. Their units are 1-to-1 significantly better, again, because of the debuff. I'm going to end this run here. I'm going to acknowledge that I've lost. I will lose the home islands. There's nothing I can do to stop that from happening. I will simply lose them. I have lasted a year and 2 months, 3 months, maybe 2.5 months. One thing I do want to highlight is just how magnificent this navy is. Look at it. Despite everything, this navy has gone out and taken names. They have taken names. Look at what they've sunk. The Hosho, probably the worst carrier Japan has. It has made a name for itself. All of our battleships have went out gloriously, taking names. Anyway, on that very sad note, we have to... it's not even sad, it's magnificent. But on that note, we have to end things here. I must recognize defeat where I seize it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. On the bright side, I have heard rumblings that an update is coming to Japan in this mod. Hopefully it will allow for the debuffs to be fixed, but knowing the mod creator, he will just make things even more awful for the sake of... he just really likes the access to lose. So we'll see what that brings in future. This has been my suffering and ultimately defeat. I hope you guys at least enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.